Hi, I'm Mitra. I'm a licensed tour guide in Italy. I'm also a virtuoso travel advisor. Today, I want to give you a brief introduction to what was once the center of the world, who shaped the entire outcome of Western politics as we know it. I'm talking about the Roman Forum. Let's go! The word forum actually means city center or meeting place. In ancient Rome, it would have been the center of the center. According to legend going far back, is where Romulus would have been buried, the founder of Rome, all the way in the 8th century BC. The forum will then grow into a republican section, a BC section that goes away from the forum towards the Pantheon. And then we have an imperial section that goes from the middle of the forum backwards to what is the Colosseum section today. There were no shops in the forum, not like they would have been in Pompeii or in other Roman forums. This one was strictly for politics and for business. While there would have been smaller, minor shops that would have been very boutique and very, very upscale, considering it was mainly the very wealthy senators that moved out in this area. Maybe buying some earrings for their wives, waiting outside in their country estates away from the city and away from any danger, risk, harm, or pollution. In the Roman Forum, there was a big main square. This is where the Senate actually would meet. Now, the Senate of Rome is going to fluctuate in numbers anywhere from 100 to 900, so there is with no certainty you can ever pinpoint down one specific number of the Roman Senate. The word Senate comes from the Latin word senex, which means old man, so there was a council of old men that was in the Senate. Some things never change, am I right? And the Senate would then be voted by the people. In Rome, they took the idea of democracy and they kind of spun it a bit further. We would have the Romans represented both by an upper class and a lower class delegation, the patricians and the plebeians, all supposedly equally represented in the Senate of Rome. You may have heard the saying, all roads lead to Rome. You should know it was absolutely true. The Roman Forum sat as a heart in a network system of roads almost pumping out the glory of the Roman Empire all the way north to England and as far east as Eastern Europe, and trade routes expanding well into the Asian continent as well. In Rome, we had plenty of big city gates as well, such as the Flaminian Gate in today's Piazza del Popolo, that if you would ride out from it, you would ride straight uninterrupted all the way to England. Rome was then protected by city walls that would shift depending on how Rome grew, but the city center of Rome remained the Roman Forum. The Forum which you see today is largely dedicated to the Augustinian area of the 1st century BC. He was the Roman emperor who said, "You gave me a city of brick and I returned it a city of marble." You see, when he took over, Rome had been in civil war for 120 years, and the city was, to put it mildly, quite neglected. Augustus restored 26 public buildings, paying out of his own pocket, supposedly. It's sometimes hard to know with Augustus because he writes all his own history, making him sound like the most absolutely spectacular thing, where most historians are going to argue that Augustus is perhaps anything but spectacular, but that's for another video. The Roman Forum would have their public meetings of the Senate out in the big main square. People could attend and they could listen in. The senators, if they wanted to block a certain motion from passing, all they had to do was to keep arguing it until the sun hit the horizon. If the sun hit the horizon and not everyone had had a moment to speak, then motion would be dismissed. Today, the same notion exists under the name filibuster, except it's no longer just to sunset. It is for an entire 24 hours that you have to keep arguing a case without letting others speak. But the Romans started here in the Roman Forum. The Roman Forum was just a tiny fragment of what would have been the great section of Roman central life. Even the Forum you see today is only about 1/3 excavated in completion. The other 2/3 are still underground, leading you from the Colosseum side towards the Pantheon in the center of Rome. The Roman Forum falls into great disuse a few centuries after Christianity has been legalized and about a century to 2 centuries after the fall of the Roman Empire. You see, while it was easy for the Christians to recycle the temples and use them as churches, the structure was square, just remove the outside decor and make it into a Catholic church. But in the end of the day, it was all too imperial for the Christian tastes. So slowly, as the Christians are going to change the papal seat from Rome up to north of Italy, officially it's always going to stay Rome, but up in Ravenna, in north of Italy, we have some of the best early Christian mosaics in the Western Hemisphere, and this is because the papacy spends the better part of an entire millennium up in the north. The Roman form becomes abandoned as a result. She is used as a landfill. They throw dirt and trash in there for the better part of a millennium, and slowly it starts filling up until by the 19th century we have completely forgotten what it even was. We can see there were Roman ruins, but nobody knew what it had been, and the area was much better known as Campo Vaccino, field of cows. Cows and sheep were grazing and pooping right on top, where the mighty Caesars once had declared their victories and their battles on nations. In 1870, the Roman forms are rediscovered by one single excavation that excavated the Via Sacra, the sacred road, also known as the original foundational border of Rome in the 8th century BC. But we won't see great excavations until the 20s and the 30s, and then in the new millennium of the year 2000, UNESCO finally declares the Colosseum and Forum to be a World Heritage Site. And only in 2008 does the Forum got closed up with gates and becomes a ticketed area, but it is to this day an active archaeological site, so there's still plenty of exciting things to discover in the Forum. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about Roman history, subscribe to this channel. If you want to plan your dream trip to Rome or anywhere else in the world, don't hesitate in reaching out to me. Remember, if you dream it, me as your travel advisor, I will deliver it. Ciao!